What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Isaiah Bagnah of the Realist. Here for another episode, man. I got Kev and Jake with me once again. Thank y'all for being here, man. First and foremost, shout out Chubbies and Orm. Always getting us right, man. And hey, if you're listening to this podcast right now, man, go ahead. Go get you a little Bagnah burger. Like I've been saying for the past couple weeks, hey, it's good. Kev, you had it for the first time this last week, right? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
I think it was this last week.
Yep, Friday.
This last
Had
week,
it
huh?
on Friday. Yep, I was
You let the people know.
one of the best
what did you
burgers I've ever had.
You heard it.
So good,
It was good, huh?
so good.
I'm telling you, it's
Best
fire.
Chubby's burger I've ever had.
Oh,
For sure.
there you go. Yes, sir. Yes,
Fries,
sir. I-
bacon, and
honestly, I
gravy,
agree.
bro. You can't go wrong with that.
I agree, man. And most people are kind of like, gravy, fries. Man, hey, you can't knock it till you try it. Let me tell you can't knock it till you try it. I'm telling you, it's good. But anyways, yeah, shout out Chubbies, man. And, let's get into this episode, man.
Let's do it.
So, it was a tough one this last weekend. We went and played Kansas at home. And, it was an odd game. I could see, just the mindset, the emotion, the atmosphere was just slightly altered than it typically is. We still had energy. Still, Lavelle was, jumping, but it was different, man. And therefore, we got the result that we got. A lot of things didn't go our way. A lot of crazy plays that they pulled out. I was like, what? Like that pooch punt?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. I haven't seen that since Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that since I played in Canada, man.
I don't know the last time I saw one.
Yeah. And then the thing is, like, J-Rob jumps on and recovers it. And then next thing you know, it just, like, plops out of his hands.
Because he was right on top of it.
He was right on top of it.
It wasn't like he couldn't get it.
Nah, he was right on top of it. His arms secured and everything. And then next thing you know, you just see it shoot out the side. And then they recovered, and I was like, oh, my gosh. But, it's just tough, man. Comes down to discipline, honestly, and, mindset, truthfully. The defense, we had honestly a really good game. We did really well. What was that? What did we hold them to again in the rushing yards? 77?
77 rush yards.
77 rushing yards. And they averaged like 212?
A lot.
A lot. Let's just say a lot, right? And so, man, like, we did great. 242 overall yards, I believe, something like that, which is also under their average. So, yeah, man, we did everything we were supposed to do. Just comes down to some unfortunate calls and some unfortunate.
And I think everyone wants to be super critical of the offense. I'm not going to defend them. You can be critical of them. It's fine. But between the 20s, for most of the game, offense did pretty good.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? You look at the yards, we outgained them by 110 or something and played pretty good.
They were on the field for a while, man. They were killing that clock, getting that ball, honestly marching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were doing their stuff.
Just like they did not finish with the touchdowns.
It's just the little things, man,
So,
But like we were talking before, it's tough because you come off of such an emotional game. Everybody was so emotionally, mentally, even spiritually invested in.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That takes a little bit of aware. I mean, you see it against, like, with, what was it, Alabama and Georgia
Yeah.
at the start of the season. And, like, that's a big emotional game for them. And then next thing you know, they go on and lose to Vandy.
The very next week, yeah.
The very next week. That stuff is real.
Yeah.
And, it's okay, though, because I really believe that this is what, kind of opened our eyes again, and reminded us, reassured us, honestly, about our mentality and how we started the season. It allowed us to get back to our roots, man, our foundation, truthfully. And so, yeah, honestly, nobody's tripping.
Yeah.
Everybody is taking accountability for what happened, on all phases, defense, special teams, offense. You know, everybody understands what happened.
Yeah.
And man, like honestly, I'm I'm excited, but I'm also nervous for who we have this weekend because
Arizona
of
State is
that.
good, man. They're a good team.
I'm saying I'm nervous for them. Yeah, truthfully, man,
Yeah.
they are a good team.
They're a
They
good
are
team.
But man, I'm telling you, like, we're not playing around, man.
I think you
playing
guys
around.
play more aggressive when you got a whole bunch to prove and not necessarily like, oh, we got to protect. We're undefeated. We're in first place. We got to protect this.
Yes.
Kansas State is a great example of that in my mind. It's like ranked team coming into our house. We're going to show them what we're really about.
Yes.
And I feel like now with that loss, it's not about we got to stay undefeated because we're undefeated. It's, oh, let's go show them what we're about.
Yes, literally, man. And it also comes down to, just it's completely eliminating any complacency, any comfort, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's honestly, I feel like we sit here and talk about the mental aspect of the game so much on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's because it's such a real and honestly huge thing about the phase of the game of football. But like, that's exactly where it came down to. I feel for this game,
Yeah.
And so, the cool thing about it, man, is that we're gonna see what kind of team we really are, and how we respond. Because great teams respond, right? You talk about like Alabama. I think this is like in the last 10 years, something like that. It's in the late the late past, whatever. They've lost one game in their season 4 times. In 4 seasons, they lost one game, and they bounced back and won the championship.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need to really like sit here and like get flustered, sit here and trip.
jump ship.
Like, teams do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure Ohio State did it one year. Clemson did it one year when they won the championship. They lost. I forgot who they lost to. But anyways, so like, the fantasy of being 10-0, having a perfect season, that obviously kind of sucks, right? Because you want, but it's still a special year. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally what we're talking about at the start of the season. I mean, start of the podcast, man. Like, if we were to sit here and be like, all right, would you like to be 9-1 and take your loss from, Kansas State, Utah, or Kansas? Would you like that? And who would you pick? First of all, hell yeah, I would like that.
Sign me up.
You know what I'm saying? Especially, I would love to be 9-1, top of the conference, And yeah, it sucks that we lost to Kansas. Freaking Kansas. They're like the Wyoming of the Big 12. Man. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, man. But truthfully, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Kansas State game is what, really show everybody who we really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Utah game, I'm not even gonna speak on that. Y'all know what I'm trying to get to at this, right?
Yeah.
But anyways,
There
Kansas is
are-
unfortunate, but
There are a segment of BYU fans who, if you went and won the Big 12 championship and your only loss on the season was to Utah, they'd be like,
but you lost to Utah.
but you lost to Utah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
There are. I'm not saying it's a majority of the fans, but
But it's
there's
a real thing.
there's a
Yeah.
segment of the fans who like, and I get it. If you got in-laws who are Utah fans, or you got like the guy who sits next to you at work is a Utah fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better the whole rest of the year when that guy's got to be making up excuses and reasons and this, and you're like,
all that
oh,
stuff.
sure,
We still lost, though.
we still lost, but give me the championship every time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's coming down to, man. It's just like, we haven't lost our sight of, getting that ring.
Yeah.
That's still the main goal at the end of the day. And we're still on track for it, man. But, I had to stop looking at social media because, like, stuff would keep popping up on my feed, bro. And, like, how could you sit here and, like, or, like, even, like, I'm not even going to, anyways, how are you going to sit here and, like, 2 weeks ago, you're like, oh, man, BYU, they're killing it, man. We'll do all this stuff. They're going to be in college football playoffs. And then this weekend happens, and now I'm seeing the exact same people oh, they had no business being the top 6 in the country, stuff like this, all this stuff. And I'm just like,
Reality
what?
check.
Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you were just, man. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna look at this stuff anymore. First of all, because it's negative and it's not good for anybody, right?
Yeah.
And second of all, dude, this is like I said at the start, man. This is what it's been. This is what it's been since the start of the season. Well,
Yeah.
before the season, truthfully, everybody still was like, BYU is gonna probably be at the bottom of the conference or might win 2 games this year. You know what I'm saying? It is at the end of the day, it's been us,
Yeah.
right? And it's still gonna be us, man, to the end of the season, truthfully, you know. And so it's just cool to kind of see that and be like, all right, man,
Yeah.
we're good. We're back to where we at now. You know what I'm saying? We're back to reality. We're back to our foundation, man. And you know, we'll see how we do because great teams respond, man. Great teams respond. You know,
I still think there's I'm gonna totally do what you're not allowed to do. I'm gonna like look past everything, and I'm just gonna like
go ahead.
You're not allowed to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Let's just say we beat Arizona State, we beat Houston, and we go to the Big 12 championship game. Let's say Colorado wins out. We play Colorado, dude. You're playing in Jerry World. You're gonna have as many or more people watching your championship game probably than anybody because you got all the hoopla around Colorado right now, which it's like they're playing pretty well. Like they're playing great. Like they deserve it. Like I'm saying, but you also have some brands over there, right? Like Prime, Travis Hunter, those guys. You guys get together. You get to play on one of the biggest stages of college football. I mean, that's basically like playoff level kind of attention on that game. That's amazing, right? That's still an amazing season. How could you be like, no, like we weren't undefeated. I don't want nothing to do with that. Like all the cards are still set to have an amazing season.
100%.
And I'm just pumped. I'm just happy about it.
I am too, man. And I think it's perfect timing for when the college football playoffs start this year because, like, you know, like, look, I'm not obviously looking too far ahead, but, you know, obviously you want to make it there and stuff like that. Like, that's a goal, right? But I think it's honestly, when you look at the bigger picture, you know, of the success that we're having this year and the route that we're on, you know, it's really cool because our like BYU is so different than any university, any school out there, any program out there, right? And like to put that on such a huge platform that it's going to be on that we're about to, well, we're already on, but we're about to, you know, keep going this way, right? Like that's for the whole world to see. That's for everybody to see, you know, and it's cool, man, because like, look, I don't know if you sit here and watch The Cut.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys watch The Cut?
Absolutely.
Man, right? It's first of all,
Great.
they kill it. Every time they kill it. It's if you haven't seen it yet, search up BYU The Cut on Instagram, on YouTube. You'll be amazed. It's like a movie every week. But anyways, in it, they really do a good job of like sharing, you know, giving little tidbits of tidbits of what we really have our foundation built off of.
Right.
You know, we sit here and listen to like what Kalani's saying, what some of our, you know, coaches are saying, what some of the players on the team are saying. You know, like that stuff, you don't see that type of stuff out there. And especially in college football.
Yeah.
One of the most popular aspects of society, especially right now.
Yeah.
Right? And so to put that kind of stuff on the map, you know, God's University on the map, you know, stuff like that. It's really cool to see, man. And it's literally about to be on the biggest platform in college football history.
Yeah. I think
you know,
BYU's pretty good with all the little things.
Yep.
And media production is one of those things where it's like, you know, like it's cool to have a little highlight video or a little like hype video or
I mean,
shout out this guy, that guy. But what BYU does, I think it's better than any school in the world.
It's more than just football, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It's more than just football.
They tell the story beyond. Because we all watched the game. Like everyone tuned into ESPN or showed up at the stadium or whatever it was.
Right.
We know the highlights. We know the game. You might show a new interesting angle or, okay, that's cool. We're not all in the locker room. We're not all huddled up with your coach pregame
face
on the
face,
field.
You know,
Yeah.
It shows you the up close and personal side of it. What the true, you know, the true aspect of it all, man.
Absolutely.
You know, down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And that's where all the real stuff is. That's where all the good stuff is. You know what I'm saying? And so
So since the cut isn't out this week,
this week they're not going to post it. Yeah.
yeah, take us in the locker room. Tough loss.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that QB quick kick, pooch punt. Then we had offensive drive before halftime that looked like it was going great. Got down to the 3. Did not end well. Then the 2-minute drive at the end of the game, again, looked great. Didn't end well. So, like, lots of good things, but obviously not the result we want, not the outcome. You go in the locker room, you're in there. Who's talking? Is it Kalani? Is it Jay Hill? What are they talking about?
Yeah. Honestly, well, Kalani was the one who spoke to us at halftime. He was kind of just like explaining to us that, you know, this isn't our brand of football this first half. You know what I'm saying? Like, even on defense side, you know, offense, obviously, too, you know what I'm saying? Even special teams, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we're not playing our brand of football. And, like, we can do better, truthfully. Obviously, you know, he went more in depth with everything and stuff like that, you know, spoke about our foundation, stuff like that. And, you know, speaking about just, like, how we have to respond, you know, like, we got to quit making these games close, right?
Yeah.
Then we go out there, and I believe, you know, we did respond. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of, like, got their juice back, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's when a lot of people started really, like, locking in more. You know, you can see it on the sideline, even for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that first half, I was kind of it was weird because I was trying to find, like, a feel for the game. I was trying to find a feel for their offense. You know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't clicking, bro, for the first quarter. And in the second quarter, you know, it got better, but not until, like, the second half, truthfully, is when I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, every time I was out there, bro, and I was like, man, like, if you believe you're a killer, then act like it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit here and, you know, we'll be the best defense, all this stuff, man, and not go out there and prove it. You know what I'm saying? Show it. That's what we did, bro. You know, we went out there and showed that we were a badass defense. Obviously, some things didn't go our way. And it's college football. You know what I'm saying? Those things are going to happen, right? But at least speaking from a defense aspect of it, we're all bought in, man. We're all, you know, in it to win it, you know? And so I don't see a lot on the offense side, not only because they're on the other side of the field, the other side of the sideline, but, you know, I'm not too familiar with how they go about everything, right?
Yeah.
And that part of it, I'm seeing it just from the cut too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the offensive perspective from the cut too. That's why it's kind of like interesting. Like, oh shoot, that's how they were feeling over there. Okay, cool. You know.
Yeah.
But just from a defensive aspect of it, that's what I do know, man. Is that, you know, once halftime came around, Kalani got up there and was like, man, like let's lock in. You know what I'm saying? We got speak into existence, and we've been here before. And that's one thing that was the most disappointing thing, is that we've been in worse situations.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, honestly, a lot worse situations. And we still executed in that side. So, yeah, man, it's just unfortunate, bro. Sometimes you win in the most tragic ways and you lose in the most tragic ways.
Yeah.
That's just college football, man. That's just football in general, truthfully.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it was tough, but, you know, one really cool thing that I really respect about Kalani after the game is, so what we talked about truthfully, is that, like, he first of all, we pride ourselves on, you know, learning and loving, right? We do that in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it might sound vanilla, but, you know, in the way that we go about it and that we, like, I guess, pertain that to our culture and mentality and, you know, stuff like that, just how we go about things, you know, it's honestly badass.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, I can go into depth about it, but I'm not going to just yet. But anyways.
But don't forget it. We still want to hear that down the road.
Yeah, we will.
Continue.
But anyways, essentially what he was trying to incorporate that into being is that, like, you know, it's tough that you lost this game. You know, we got a lot of stuff we can learn from. But, you know, what toughness comes down to in his mind is to be able to take this loss and after the game, go see your family, go see your loved ones, and put a smile on your face
Yeah.
and act like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and sulk. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Don't let your family, don't let your wives, for people who are married, don't let your mom, your dad, whoever came to support you, made sacrifice, come support you. Don't let them, feel any negative energy from you because of the outcome of this game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a game of football. You know what I'm saying? These are your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So they don't deserve to experience any of this negativity or anything like that. And I was like, man, that's cool because I've never, truthfully heard that. And you think that typically, it's the opposite way around. People like I want you guys to feel this loss. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you obviously in a bad way, but you need to feel it so you can respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Turn it into
you're
something
not,
else. Or
yeah, and when you're
motivation.
you're on the bus ride home from a loss in high school or something like that, and some freshman in the back's laughing, and you get pissed. Oh,
You don't
get up and turn
care.
around shut up, man. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff, right? But no, that's not it, man. You know what I'm saying? What being a true badass is, what true toughness is, and I totally agree with him, is to put all that aside for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Be in control of it.
Exactly, right?
Own it.
And so, yeah, man, it was really cool to have that as a reminder. Because I still try to do that, you know what I'm saying? In fact, one thing I've been trying to emphasize in my life lately is just, finding ways to cope with certain things, negative aspects of my life. You know what I'm saying? Because shit happens, man. Life happens, right?
That for everybody.
Exactly.
I don't care how successful, how many friends you have.
Who you are, man.
That's part of being here on planet Earth.
Exactly, right? And so I'm like, man, how can I go about not just coping, but progressing and excelling through these, negative occurrences or experiences that I'm having, right? And I really thought about it. I was like, man, through all the things I've been able to understand and learn and stuff like that, one of the best things for me is to go out and serve somebody.
Yes.
It's to do something for somebody else, right? It's not just enough to go out and do something. You know what I'm saying? Because at first that's what I thought. I was like, you know what? How I could manage my anxiety or something like that is just me not sitting here in my thoughts and get up and doing something.
Right.
And that worked for a little while. But then, man, I get to a point where it's now I'm getting up and doing something while I'm still thinking about something.
You're not really doing something else.
Well, I'm still sulking about it. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Your mind is still on that thing.
And so, exactly, right? So I'm like, man, how do I actively, change this? Some for the better. And I started thinking about it, man. I was like, I have to do something for somebody else. Just try it. You know what I'm saying? Every week, me and Talon, sometimes we'll bring some other guys, but Talon Alfred and I, every single Thursday, that we can, we didn't go, I think, UCF week because they had we actually had to leave early.
Travel.
Right?
For time zones.
Every Thursday, we go to the hospital and, we just go and meet a bunch of people, a lot of the patients, people who are post-op recovery, in rehabilitation, all that type of stuff, and just go and chat with them, kind of hear their story, you know what I'm saying? Just honestly, just try to be friends. Try to be, another ear for them to talk to, man. It's not even you don't see me. Honestly, I'm kind of uncomfortable even sharing this on the podcast because I don't tell nobody about this.
Dude, I was just gonna say, I've known you for how long? I never knew this.
Yeah, bro. I don't post it or nothing like that.
I've seen you with kids. I've seen you be really awesome and one-on-one with kids.
Yeah.
I had no idea about this, man.
Every Thursday I go to the hospital, man. Chat and me and Talon will bring. It was Talon's idea too, man. Which I was like, dude, this is perfect. This is awesome, man. You're anyways, and so we'll bring in some posters or some wristbands, stuff like that. Just some little
Simple,
stuff, right? So they can some stickers. I always give them a sticker. I'm like, man, go ahead and put that up on. Because they're in the little bed or something. Put that right there. So every time you look over, instead of looking at your monitor, you'll see the sticker like a Sailor Cougar looking at you, right? And you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Just something to. And this last Thursday, we went and everything like that. And man, honestly, I was going through it that day.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff was happening. It was tough practice, stuff like that the day before, and whatever. I don't even get into it. And then, I'm sitting there. I was like, oh, shoot, it's Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm still feeling it, you know, and then once I finally get into this first room, man, it was like nothing happened.
Right.
Nothing happened. And the crazy thing is, dude, like sometimes we'll go into these rooms and, you know, it's post-op rooms, like the post-op floor, stuff like that. And like, you know, people who have some pretty serious cases,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, like some terminating, you know, illnesses, stuff like that, right? And like, typically we come in after the doctors meet with them and their families. And, you know, you'll walk in, sometimes you'll see like, just like they've just received some bad
Terrible news. Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're like crying, stuff like that. But it's really cool to see, man, when you walk up in there and their faces when they see you or see it like us changes, like nothing ever happened. Man, like some of the biggest smiles I've ever seen.
Right.
Right? Especially, you know, we just beat Utah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Man, they all the nurses and everybody was telling me like everybody in the hospital had it on, all the patients had it on their little TV and everything, you know. Some of the, you know, the floor that they, you know, heart people who just had heart surgery or something like that, or, you know, they had to like kind of not watch it at the end, right? Because it was so crazy. But everybody was watching, man. And, you know, I walked into this room and obviously this family just received some bad news. They're all kind of like crying down. And then, man, everybody stands up, man, smiles, their eyes, their whole energy changed. You know what I'm saying? And just like, that's why I love doing that, is because, you know, a lot of people, they kind of joke around me sometimes like, oh, you guys are just doing that so you get good juju, good karma and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's
maybe.
funny. That's funny that you say that. But truthfully, man, it's more because like it gives the opportunity to have that impact on these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like if I can be that little outlet for them, you know, to change their day, you know, help their family get at least some good news, positive vibe that day, man, why wouldn't I do that? You know what I'm saying?
It also,
Why
so
wouldn't I?
emotional intelligence, you look at you can Google it, the emotional intelligence scale or the emotional scale or the emotional ladder, all the same names, the same thing. You feel these different emotions and you can measure it. You are more productive. You are more creative. You have stronger relationships with other people when you're in these higher emotional states.
Yep.
By you and going and like making people feel gratitude, making people feel love. We have mirror neurons in our brains. You're feeling the way they feel, you're feeling the same way
100%.
because we have mirror neurons in our brain. It puts you in the highest emotional state. So yeah, you're doing an amazing thing, and it's like, oh, it's so selfless. And it is. I'm not saying it isn't, but you also benefit from it. You can call it karma. Sure, I think some of it's karma.
Yeah.
You do good things work out for you. I believe that 100%.
Agreed.
You and I have seen this. But the second thing is also like it elevates your emotional state. And now all of a sudden it puts everything in life in perspective.
100%.
And your problems before, having a bad practice or whatever, coach chewing your butt, whatever it was.
Nothing, man.
Like, oh,
compared to you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in that, it literally in all around, it's just a positive environment, you know, for not just myself, but for them as well. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not it's not for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's a way that I can serve somebody.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Every day I try to find at least one person that I can serve. Whether it's even just talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just intentionally trying to serve somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people need help, man. And it's beyond like the whole what goes around comes around thing for me. It's beyond that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, truthfully, people need help.
Yeah.
And like I kind of really started to understand that when I took this one sociology class here at BYU, man. And it was like we talked about, you know, society and like how, you know, there's people out there living on $20 worth of food stamps per month. And like how people like, you know, the government or just in general, people in that position kind of get frowned upon, you know, they kind of get kicked to the curb. But like these people have families, man. And there's a lot of times where people can't control what's happened to them.
Right.
There's a lot of times where, yeah, absolutely choices, you know, there's consequence for every choice you make. But for a lot of people, man, that's, it's just an unfortunate position that they're in. And people just need help, man. And like, I don't think a lot of people really think about or want to think about that.
It's way more
You know what I'm
convenient
saying?
to say, well, they made bad choices or they did this themselves.
Exactly.
They deserve this.
Right?
No one deserves to be in the hospital and get a term. Like that's
Nobody deserves none of that. You know what I'm saying?
but it's easy because then you don't have to have those mirror neurons. You don't have to feel that pain.
Exactly.
You don't have to get emotionally
You don't have
invested
to,
in that.
you know? Because
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, it is literally, right? And so, I don't know, man. I remember we were just talking about this one lecture, and I was just like, man, like, it's so real. I was sitting watching these videos and stuff like that, and and the cool part is, well, not cool part, but the reality is, it doesn't have to be people who are in these positions who are homeless. It doesn't have to be homeless people.
Mm-mm-mm.
It could be your next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? It could be your coworker, your teammate, your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally. Just like the subtle intention to serve them
Yeah.
in a way that they probably don't even notice, but it still matters. Still, the little things matter, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're getting into that season. I mean, we're coming Thanksgiving, which is all about gratitude.
Yeah, literally.
But then we're going right into Christmas season, which is message of the Savior, like serve others, sacrifice, serve others, love others more.
Right.
We had a little meeting. Sunday. We had a family meeting on Sunday, and Christmas parties are starting to get on the schedule, and from now to the end of the year, there's all these events.
A
like
whole
it's
bunch of
starting
stuff.
to fill up.
Yeah.
And we asked our kids, like, okay, what don't we want to miss between now and New Year's, right? Like, what don't we want to miss? And my daughter Hadley, she's 11. I don't think she's done this since she was maybe 7 or 8, but she said, "Can we do the stockings again?" And at first I was like, I didn't even. I know what she's talking about. When she was probably 4, 5, 6, and 7 for like 4 or 5 years in a row, she would get little mini stockings, and she would fill them with gloves, hand warmers, gift cards to McDonald's, gift cards to Walmart, and then like a really nice like handwritten note. And we would and this was her initiative. Like we did not teach her this. We did not tell her this. This was like her initiative. And she came up with this when she was like 4, dude. And so we would just drive around Utah County, Salt Lake County. Anyway, we would take them if we were going up to see family in Salt Lake or whatever. We'd take them with us. Or we were going here for this. We had these stockings in our car. And anytime she saw someone who was either like homeless or she just thought that person's sad, they need it, we'd pull over. And I'm very cautious, right? So
absolutely.
I go with her,
right.
or like keep a close eye.
For sure.
But sometimes like we like just pull right up to somebody on the side of the road. She'd like hop out of the van and be like, "Hey, I wanted you to have this and have a Merry Christmas and know I care about you."
Wow. That's impressive.
And we're talking about parties, we're talking about Christmas movies and Christmas lights and doing this and going to this. And it's like, man, she brought all that right back into perspective.
That's pretty cool, man.
For what it is. Maybe you guys could team up.
I was going to say, that's a great idea. I actually think we should do that.
We should get some of the guys.
Absolutely.
Team up and just go give back.
No, we're going to do that.
Let's do it.
100% we're going to do that. I love that idea. Wow.
We'll put Hadley in charge of it.
Let's do it.
And then you guys can all go execute it.
Literally. Put her in a group chat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
With her Gab watch.
Yep. That's so sick. That's so awesome, man. And that's really what it comes down to. Christmas is literally about Christ.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you give gifts.
Right.
Is to be Christ-like and give. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's weird, bro. Because, like, for me, Christmas it's very weird for me. And let me explain that real quick. It is because, I've had wonderful Christmases. You know what I'm saying? My mom has done a great job, especially growing up, by, like, giving me the best Christmases that I could possibly have. Whether that's, having a lot of stuff going on, whether that's not having much going on. Just, like, And, regardless, though, I've had great Christmases. As I've gotten older, though, just circumstances and stuff like that, where I'm at, my environment, situation I'm in, like, I've been in positions where I've had to, spend Christmases at in other people's homes, you know what I'm saying, and which I'm 100% grateful for.
Yeah.
Every single one has been a wonderful experience. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully, I'm just grateful that they even allowed me to come into their home on such a, serious holiday, right?
Right.
But like it's changed my perspective on Christmas, man, because my whole life I've kind of seen it. And for a lot of people, I feel like this is the case too, but for me just personally, right? Like a lot of people see it as a time for like, family and to give gifts. What's the best gift I can give somebody, something like that. And, how can I make it mean something to them? And which is awesome. I love that aspect of Christmas.
Yeah.
However, though, I've kind of drifted to a point where, I don't even I don't even care to get a Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care to even like decorate. And it's not for a bad reason. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? I love the Christmas spirit, whatever,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? However, though, like I want to do something with Christmas that's different than what everybody does. You know what I'm saying? Christmas has always been different for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's never been a typical, whatever Christmas typically is for most people, right?
Yeah.
But like, I want to do it in a way where I can like really find an action or like a deliberate intention to be as Christ-like as I possibly can be like.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like literally like the stalking thing. Like that's so cool. Like I want to steal that idea, do that on
Let's
Christmas
do it.
Day.
Let's
you know what
do
I'm saying?
it.
Instead of me sitting here, opening presents and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, man, it just wasn't really. That's something that I haven't really had in a little while. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what Christmas is really all about, in my opinion. And like, I don't know, getting gifts is not really, super important to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, even like last year, man, it's tough. I think last year's what did it for me because last year I got meniscus surgery.
Mhm.
I think Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I'm pretty sure I got, or was it 23rd? One or the other.
Yeah.
And so I was just stuck in my bed all Christmas Day by myself in my apartment here in Provo.
Bro, why didn't you tell me, bro?
That's the thing. I didn't want to tell
I
nobody.
know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting my burden on nobody.
Would be a
but
burden though, dude. You know we'd love to have
I
you.
know, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
But truthfully, you know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like laying there, man, the whole day. And I was like, man, like, what does Christmas really mean to me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it really mean to me? Right? Like, if I really wanted to, I probably could have hopped on a flight back home, back to my mom in North Carolina or something like that. Or I could have done something probably. But the fact of the matter is I'm laying here on the 25th in my bed looking at my ceiling with like my knees all jacked up, you know what I'm saying? And, it changed my perspective, man. I don't want to sit here saying I was feeling bad for myself because truthfully, I decided to get the surgery.
Right.
I mean, obviously I could have done it a little bit sooner, but I was like, man, I might as well suck it up and thug it out here, you know what I'm saying, by myself. But truthfully, man, it's just like, it gave me a perspective of like, what does Christmas really mean to me?
Right.
What do I see? What do I miss about Christmas? With basically since I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Right? What do
Yeah.
I miss about it? And it came down to a certain point where I was like, do I care about the gifts? Nah. Do I really care about, I know this might sound bad, but do I really care about spending time with other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, not really, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do right now? I truthfully wanted to go do something for somebody else.
Yeah.
And it comes back to what I was just saying, like, how do I help myself the most? How do I get this negative, energy, this negative emotions that I'm feeling is by doing something for someone else, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like Christmas should be, man. Thanksgiving, everybody goes out, gives turkeys away, and that's really cool, and I love that. And in fact, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
But Christmas, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little different for me, man. I kind of see it more in that way, and so I don't know, man. I know I kind of went down a little rabbit hole right
No,
there.
dude.
But that's just kind of how I see it. That's my perspective, you know?
This 100% reminds me of my mission, especially my first mission. My first
Ooh.
Christmas on my mission, I should say.
Yeah.
I've only done one mission. But like, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm in Garland, actually. Garland, Texas. Just a little bit on the rougher side, right? And there's no snow. There's no anything, right? We go and we hacked out a piece of a bush, made a little fake Christmas tree, mostly just to be funny.
Yeah.
You know, send pictures home so mom and whatever could laugh and
Right.
whatever. But then, like, I don't know, it's you and your companion, right?
Yeah,
like,
literally.
it's Christmas Day. Like, you're not going to go. I mean, we had dinner invites and stuff that night, like, come eat Christmas dinner with us or whatever that night. We're like, oh, that was great, you know, grateful for that.
Absolutely.
And we had just baptized some people a few weeks before, and we wanted to go, like, see them in the evening, you know, but Christmas morning, Christmas Day, and you're going to call mom and dad, right? But usually, like, that's, like, it seems to be, like, a little bit later. But yeah, like that, a whole morning, and it's like, okay, what is Christmas really like? Like, what am I missing from home? Because, you know, at that point, I don't know, there wasn't like a lot of homesickness, like, oh, I want to be with my mom or my dad or
Right.
see my brothers and sisters. Like, you know, that goes away pretty quick if you're working and focused and
Right.
distracted by all that stuff. It was like, what do I miss? And it's like, I miss watching like my grandpa watch my younger brothers and sisters open gifts and presents that he got them.
Yes.
Right? Because you see to him, this is like the coolest thing for
Oh,
him.
yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, I miss like my grandma, like going to get, we do prime rib all the time or for Christmas dinner. And like, I remember my grandma would always like make a big deal about like what horseradish to get to go with this. And she'd get like several kinds and this. And then she'd be like all like up, like tight about like, oh, this. And then like, she'd like, did you like it? Like, did you this? And you're like, oh, grandma, it was so good. Thank you. And she's like, she's so happy. Like, I missed that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right. And so it was like, so you really, because I mean, I got on my mission, I got like presents, you know,
Sure.
like, you know, kind of, I got like
here and there,
ties and crap, right? Like whatever,
maybe
like,
a belt.
yeah,
or something.
like you get stuff like that, and that's cool and
Absolutely. I
appreciated.
mean, yeah, somebody went out their way to give you that, right?
Yeah,
so,
but that's not what I missed. It's like what you're saying. Like that's, I did miss being with family, but it wasn't for the sake of being with family.
Right.
It was for the sake of like all the people experiencing the different like positive emotions and things. Teaching your little brothers. Remember, we get video games. We got a PS1 one year when the PlayStation was first out, you know, and we got video games. And my little brothers wanted to play these games. You know, they're 5 and 8 years younger than me, I think. And but they're like too young to like figure it out on their own. Like, all right, look, obviously they want you to do this,
right,
on that, and sitting that time with them, and then like passing it over to them, and like them doing it, and then they're like, yeah, like, you know, I figured this out. Like, that's the stuff. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it totally reminds me of that same exact experience.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel like it's all about.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like, shoot, even, Christmas, but just in life, truthfully.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, I'm even stretch it to this. You know, like, you sit here and, you know, we sit here and talk about, like, how, you know, the anticipation of, you know, somebody acknowledging kind of like something that you set in place for them to like, you know, enjoy, you know what I'm saying? You kind of sit there like, you know, this is going to be awesome. They're going to love this.
Yeah.
Right. And then like when they finally acknowledge it, that feeling that you get is just like, oh, heck yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was so worth it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that, you know, it was good for them, that they appreciated that, you know. How, and this is kind of just like, you know, a little bit transitioning to this spiritual aspect of it, but like, what do you think God feels like when he puts blessings in our lives? He gives us blessings and we don't acknowledge it.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a lot of different quotes and things running through my mind right now. First one is Joseph Smith has a quote, and maybe this is misattributed, maybe this isn't real. I don't know. I haven't fact checked this, but I love this quote anyway. Actually, I think this is from a Truman G. Madsen talk on the life of Joseph. So this is probably actually really accurate. But he had said at one point, anyone who receives all things with gratitude will find himself exalted in the celestial kingdom. Right?
Yeah.
Ordinances are important. Authority is important. All this. But if you continually give gratitude to Heavenly Father for all the things that you receive, you will find yourself exalted. And I believe that because, like,
100%.
if you're a person of gratitude, you're not going to reject ordinances and all the little checklist things, right? You're going to be like our Father in heaven.
Right.
And then this is my work and my glory to bring to pass the immortality and like eternal life of man, right? Like that's what he does. He's built, all of this
Literally, yeah.
for us to come here and do this. And then how quick are we to like
Like, all right.
get into politics and be like, this is my religion now.
Yeah,
Or like get into BYU football.
Like, what?
And be
You know
like,
what I'm
this is
saying?
my religion now.
Yeah,
or
literally.
making money. Like, this is the most important thing in my life now. And I get sidetracked with like,
Oh, yeah.
like any and all
everybody
that.
does. Everybody
Right?
does.
But like, yeah. What do you think that's like for Heavenly Father who's like, let me create a universe
for these people to enjoy and, experience life.
and this and grow. I'm gonna work like, I'm gonna hit these trials, but I'm gonna grow. Dude, the Marissa, the lady who did the massage therapy on you, right?
Yep.
She's all about the spiritual contract. She brought it up again. She's like,
interesting.
I think we stood in line to say, Heavenly Father, I want to experience forgiveness when I go to earth, or I want to experience generosity, or I want to experience this. And maybe the forgiveness line you stood in meant people are going to be mean to you. They're going to reject you. They're going to do this and that, but you're going to be able to forgive. And that's a Christ-like quality. That's a God-like quality.
Wow.
She's like, that's her belief. I'm not saying that's a church belief, but
No, I like that a lot. That's such a cool perspective.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. Never thought of that.
She's
before.
deep, dude. And I'm not just talking about deep tissue. Like she's like,
Marissa on this podcast, man. What the
Get
heck?
Marissa in
No
here.
kidding. What the heck?
Throw her
That's
on the
deep,
mic.
man. That's crazy.
Yeah. But I don't know.
It's and that kind of like is cool as you said, because I guess I want to rephrase my question. It's not how does he feel if we don't acknowledge? How does he feel if we do acknowledge?
Yeah.
When do we do acknowledge? You know what I'm saying? And like, I guess that kind of ties into just more like wanting to give you more blessings. Literally.
Absolutely.
And you can't out thank God.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't out,
That's King Benjamin's discourse, right? Mosiah too.
Yeah.
Like he'll
literally.
immediately bless you more.
Literally. It's crazy, man. But dang, Marissa.
Marissa, she's
Marissa,
deep, man. I'm telling you.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But I think when he says,
Yeah,
this is my work and my glory, I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, I create all this stuff so you can live a life like I live. You can be exalted to
You
my
can see
level.
what it's like, yeah.
And there's all these cool things along the way, like all these blessings and lessons. And I'm gonna let you stumble through the darkness or the pits of despair, and then I'm gonna put this person in your life, or I'm gonna send this thing to you and this, and it's gonna completely change everything for you.
It's showing you the why.
It's gonna show you the why of
You know
all
what I'm saying?
this.
That's so crazy.
And dude, that's got to be the greatest thing he does, right?
Yeah.
At least that I know about. Who knows? And
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we could experience like a sliver of that here
Yeah.
when we do something like just really altruistic for someone else or for other group of people.
That's so crazy. And yeah, man. And it's cool because I like with Marissa's like perspective, man, like, I want to come and experience forgiveness or stuff like that. Like, it's cool because it's not just one thing. If we were to go off of that perspective or that ideology, it's not just the one thing. It's all these different things. I want to experience this. I want to experience what it's like to have a family. I want to experience,
unconditional love.
Unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally all these small things, what it takes to have a conditional love, and all these different things, man. It's crazy. And it's literally like, all right, man, like, it's not going to be easy, but it's, here, here's a gift. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and experience that.
Let me create scenarios for you where you're going to have to you can get to experience all this and come out on the other side completely refined and better and more Christ-like.
And somehow makes it all connected with everybody and everything.
Yeah.
Intertwined with everybody's you know,
12D
purpose.
chess of just like
right? Like on some, maybe that's where dimensions come into play.
could be. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man,
Quantum theory, dude's crazy. You know about quantum physics, quantum theory? Like you affect one thing and it affects this over here, like, and you can prove that it's true. Like you can prove that it's true, and you can prove that Einstein, or what is it called? Theory of relativity is true, and they're supposed to contradict each other. And you can prove they're both true, and I think they probably are both true. And I think it's just this huge thing we don't understand. And Heavenly Father's got it all figured out, dialed in,
out, man. And it's crazy because I feel like he symbolizes it in ways that go over everybody's head.
Oh yeah,
like I mean, shoot, you look at, you know, the body, the physical body. You know how muscles work. So at Boise State, I used to get acupuncture, dry needling. By the way, dry needling like every week. And what she would do is she'd take this big needle, right, and just poke it into one of my muscles and, you know, just kind of stab at it, you know, like move around, cut up some muscle fibers. And what it does is just essentially like releases, you know, certain like, because, you know, muscles are supposed to be like straight parallel and everything that, right? Sometimes, you know, obviously has this little ridges and stuff like that. That's where like certain, you know, strains come from, or like, you know, just stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Pain and stuff. And so I remember, man, like, and I knew this kind of, I had an idea of it kind of before I started getting acupuncture, because my grandma was like a really, you know, she's like a master massage therapist. Like she's like deep down to like, you know, how the whole body works, to like, you know, she's super talented what she does. Like it's beyond what I've ever seen, truthfully.
Yeah.
Like on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
However, though, when I was getting acupuncture by, you know, my acupuncture lady, I remember I told her, I was like, man, like, my shoulder is so jacked up, like, up into my neck. Like, I'm trying everything, but nothing's working. She's like, let's try something. So she, like, I forgot exactly what muscle it was, but it was in somewhere you would never even think of.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was, like, down in my, like I think hip or, like, quad, like, upper quad area or something like that. And it fixed my neck. It fixed my shoulder, too. I'm like, bro, you just went the opposite direction of my body.
Right.
But it's all connected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at the nervous system, that in itself is a whole different story, right? But like all these things, even just the circle of life and how everything's, even karma, everything's connected. You know what I'm saying? If you even want to get down to it, the galaxy, how the sun correlates with everything in the solar system, and then beyond that, he symbolizes all these things in so many different ways that we just, I mean, even simple as the circle.
Yeah.
Right? If you really want to come down to it, or like shapes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they all connect.
I think that's why the Savior was always teaching with parables. He like talk about seeds, right? Or he talk about, you know, lilies in a field, or he talk about this, or he talk about that. It's like, yeah, like the lessons of Heavenly Father are literally everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
I think one of the prophets of the Book of Mormon's fighting with like, I don't know if it's Korah or some other like false preacher or priest, and he said like, you have all the signs in the earth and the heaven before you, testifying to you that there is a God, and you deny it. Something to that effect, right? And it's like that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
100%.
And the more we learn, we think we're so smart, and like the more we learn, it's crazy. There's a cool book called Stephen Myers is the author. It's called could you Google that for me? Stephen Myers, and he's got a book about.
That sounds familiar.
It's like Phen, Stephen Myers. He's got a book about God, and he goes through and like the history of science, like where they believe, you know, like the Earth is the center of the universe, and then this, and then it's not the God particle. What is it called? Anyway,
Return of the God hypothesis.
We'll keep going. He's got other books too.
Darwin's doubt.
Darwin's doubt is one that talks about this a little bit. What was the first one you said? God hypothesis?
Return of the God hypothesis.
Keep going. It's a different one I've read. He's got like 6 on this series. Basically, he gives you the history of science and theology, and how like, oh, like scientists were sure of this, or, you know, and theology was against it, and then like science evolves, right? Because that's what science is. Like you continue to learn more and progress and
Yeah, literally.
different things. He talks about like even when like someone was like mixing chemicals together and they created ammonia for the first time, or urea the first time, which is like basically like urine.
Yeah.
Right before that, they thought that like that was basically something that could only be created by something that God had created, like that. And then like they learn more about chemistry, and they're like this, and like at that point they're like, oh, that disproves God. And then they learn more and more and more. Basically, where we're at right now, at our current level of like science and understanding, is proteins. Okay, so DNA is the most. That's what the DNA. It's DNA and God. Oh gosh,
Signature in the cell.
there it is. Signature in the cell. Thank you,
Okay.
Kevin. Signature in the cell. So it's a chicken and egg paradox.
Okay.
So DNA is proteins.
Yes.
Okay. The only way proteins can be made is if you have the coding of DNA to make the proteins. So you can't make proteins without DNA, and DNA themselves are made up of protein pairs.
Yeah, because like on the little
Double helix.
double helix. Yeah,
It's
each one
protein.
of those are proteins. Yeah.
So so it's the only way you can make protein. Well, you have to have DNA that tells the other cells how to make the proteins. And he goes through the whole science of like that. But that's basically like we come down to like where we're at with our knowledge of science is we don't know where protein like come from. They've done these experiments. They've tried to prove that like, you know, given enough combinations, like randomly a protein can be generated. And he goes and like disproves it. Like there's not, if you can measure how long from the Big Bang to now and how much light, because time is measured in light, has passed, there's not enough occurrences for there to be enough protein randomly generated to create DNA. So somebody had to come down here and like do this. But it's like in everything, dude. Like it's like all of our science, all of our things. Like it's a great book. If you haven't read that, Signature in the Cell.
Like a sick book. Signature in the Cell.
Yeah, and you will probably get bored to death at some points when he's talking about like science from like the 1600s or the 400 AD or whatever. It's like it's very extensive, but he gets into probability. He gets into like all these different deep things. And like one thing he talks about is like if you've got video camera of a bank robbery.
Yeah.
Someone comes in and they walk up to the safe and they put in the combination the first time right away. They go and they take the money, they walk out. What is the logical conclusions that they knew the combination? Like what more than likely happened?
Someone told them.
Someone told them. Is an inside job. Someone gave them the secret so they could open the safe. What are the odds that they walk up and they get the 3, 4, 5-digit combination right the very first try? Very unlikely. Like impossible, really, once you measure it out.
Yes.
Essentially, it's impossible. I mean, nothing's impossible, but essentially it is.
Yeah.
And so that's what he goes into with this protein and the things. Like he goes through probability. He goes through how protein was understood. It's wild stuff, man. It's deep stuff, but that's crazy. So good.
Dang. Have you ever heard of anything like that, Kev? Of like the DNA and protein and stuff?
Not like that.
It's crazy. We talked about it a little bit in the past a few times, and dude, it blows my mind because truthfully, like, you can't really say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go any deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's literally the protein, the essence of creation, of everything that's
we could dispute, I mean, with different people, you can dispute like what God is like or what God is this or that, but like somebody knew how DNA worked. Right? Yep. Like somebody put it here on Earth. And like you want to say it was macroevolution, microevolution, like whatever you want to talk about, okay, fine. We can have a different discussion, but like where did the DNA come from?
Yeah. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, literally.
Nobody knows. So
that's crazy. And you know, it's funny because when you brought up like the center, the Earth being, because what's his name again?
Michael Rush.
Michael Rush.
Yeah, he's not the scientist. Oh, you're talking about Galileo, where the Earth is the center of the.
Yes.
He disproved it, right? It was the church originally had said the Earth is the center, and everything rotates around the Earth, and then Galileo was able to like disprove that with astrophysics. I believe it was Galileo, right?
I think so.
He was like locked up for the rest of his life.
Really?
For basically kind of like proving the church was not right about that. But now,
Where did I hear? I heard something though that
now
it
they think
was.
it is.
It is the center
Okay,
of the
dude.
universe.
So maybe we talked about it at lunch, or maybe we talked about it here. I don't know.
I don't think we've talked about it yet, dude.
Dude.
I don't think we've talked about it because I've peeped some stuff and I've even done my own research about it.
Yes.
I'm like, man, it's crazy. Like, apparently, the Earth is literally the center of the universe. Like, based off of studies and like measurements off light years and stuff like that, going from one side of the universe, well, as far as they can so far, to the other side, it's evening out
Is it
completely.
the most? It's not. If it's, I want to say it's Hubble, but it's probably not. But it's the latest measurement in photography from space.
Yes, the
is
latest-
starting to show that
how
the
it's-
Earth is literally the center of every known thing,
everything.
and it's freaking scientists out.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
what are the, like what are the odds of that?
Then it takes everything into a whole new perspective. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what the hell?
So what if you create a whole universe and you populate it with beings, whether it's interplanetary or one planet, but I tend to think it's interplanetary, multiple planets, and you send a Christ down to be a redeemer for all of them, where are you going to send him? Right? Like,
Literally,
that's, I think, what happens. I think that's the pattern. That's what I think. I don't know.
hey, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Trust me. I don't know. It's kind of weird because like, just on this aspect, I tend to go down a rabbit hole, and I was tend to like even start to like feel the smoke coming out of my brain. Comes like trying to understand, trying to learn as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? And just I was like, you know what, man. I'm just even glad and lucky that I can get this small like tidbit of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to know everything.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to know all the secrets, but it's damn sure interesting to go down that rabbit hole and like acquire this new knowledge.
Yeah.
There's real things. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That people don't understand. Like, how crazy is that?
I think there has to be, I mean, curiosity is obviously an important part of it. Like, you have to be curious. You gotta want to know. But also, I think there's got to be a humility aspect of like,
Yes.
hey, I'm humble enough to say like, I don't know everything, and I'm open to hearing different things. And I think sometimes when we have our faith, which is so important to us, as like one of the most important things we have, like, well, I don't want any information that's gonna like challenge my faith or do this. But and that's like my initial like gut reaction with a lot of things. But my experience is I've gone down rabbit holes and I've gone down these things. I've seen a bunch of parallels to my faith of things that like almost like strengthen my faith.
Agreed.
And so I think, I don't think it has to be either or. I think you can be very open-minded.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I think you can even say like this is true. I'm not even sure how it fits with the gospel or if it's relevant to the gospel. Probably is, because we know all truth is circumscribed into one whole, right? It's all part of one thing. But like, I don't even know how that is. And then maybe later, like, you find a place for it or something like that. But I think you have to be humble and curious and not be like, well, I know definitively
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Like, bro, you're going to be alive forever, for eons of time. And let's all hope like we're in a state where we can continue to learn, grow, and progress
Yes.
forever, for
Forever,
eons of
literally.
time. Then that's okay to say here when you're a freaking 40, 50, 30, 20-year-old man on earth that like, I don't know.
Literally.
I think it's okay.
And is the issue, man. Is it like, it's not a norm, a
Right.
social norm to be like, you know what, man, I don't know. Simply just saying I don't know.
I'm interested
something
as
that's-
hell, but I have no idea.
It's like something that's like people feel. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a lot of people out there just like, it's kind of like, man. Well, also it does have to do with change. People not
Yeah.
being comfortable with change. You know what I'm saying? A sense of bias in it as well, but also too just the blatant fact of being wrong.
Oh,
or
yeah.
not knowing.
Oh,
People
yeah.
can't handle that, bro. You
Yeah.
can't. And you're right. It takes that humility, and like it's cool that you said, because a few weeks ago, so Brady Papinga,
Yeah.
he comes to our practices a lot, and he had a great career in the league and everything
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
He's, you know what I'm saying? He's Brady Papinga, right? Anyways, him and I were sitting there talking on the sideline one day, and we're just talking about like, what's it take to be a great pass rusher? What do all these pass rushers in the NFL, in history, even himself have in common? And it's the humility of, being wrong
Yeah. Yeah.
and trying something new. So many people are so scared to like, I don't want to try that. I don't want to try a spin move because what if the guard blows me up and I go viral on the internet like this other guy did? Or like all this stuff. We're like, I'm not really good at, a cross chop, so I'm just going to stick to a bull rush.
Yeah.
How do you know that if you never try it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how would you know if that could be your best move? That could be your best pass rush move you've ever had. But you have to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to trial and error, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In order to master it. You don't just become a master at nothing. That's with everything. I'm just correlating it to football, right? But like truthfully, right? And it's having that humility to do so. But you see a lot of dudes, man, a lot of people who have good potential in doing this, in being better when they are. What we were talking about before, even the podcast. But they just simply don't make the choice to be humble enough to, attempt that.
And I think this is me being like probably a really judgmental jerk because I obviously have no problem trying new and weird things and like just experimenting with crap.
Right.
But I think there is like a little bit of like confidence with it.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
what if I do go viral because I get
Yeah.
clapped up on this or I look stupid spinning or whatever it is, right? Like, what if I do become a meme? Is that going to like be the end of the world?
Are you, like,
Are you what if we'll shout out you and Tyler Batty. What if I flop? Right? What if I flop?
oh my gosh.
but-
Dude, that's
but-
going viral.
Right, that is
A
going
lot of people
viral.
are seeing that. A lot of people see the compilation. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
No, but why
That's
don't they go
funny to
back?
say.
Why don't they go back and
Yeah.
play what was the one who got flagged in our north end zone? The team who actually got one. Was it Kansas State? Who was it? They got one on you guys. The D lineman flopped and totally
Who
got
was
a
it?
flag.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, remember? Like I don't remember what game it was,
I
but
don't remember either.
like that one didn't get compilation because
Right.
they flagged it. But guess what? He doesn't get that flag if he doesn't
Now
try.
it's all, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, yeah.
But
No,
but you and Batty,
But yeah, dude, we
Like
honestly we went viral for some of this. Yeah, whatever. It's embarrassing, whatever. I mean, first of all, it shows us putting forth effort in a
little
variety
detail.
of ways.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it shows that we care. First of all,
yeah,
because like it's middle of the game, our bodies hurt. You're telling me we're just gonna throw our bodies on the ground like that just for fun?
for fun. Yeah,
Come on, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But regardless, though, in everybody's eyes, in society's eyes, they're like, you're a pussy. That's not how you play
Which,
a game of football.
If you know Isaiah and Batty,
If you know us,
you're not.
probably the furthest thing from that, truthfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do that, and then the next play, I'm going to smack you in your mouth and be like, whoa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
But regardless, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But that's just being humble enough to try something new. Try that.
Yeah.
For the sake of the team.
Kevin's a big NBA guy. Vlade Divac. You remember this guy? Sacramento Kings, I think. Vlade Divac. I'm getting his name wrong because it's not the strongest with the, Eastern European kind of names.
It's all good. I wish I could help you. But
Yeah, you're good. This might predate both of you too. But when he played the Jazz back in the day, all the time, he was so good at drawing fouls. And one of the things he would do is usually when you're going up to shoot a shot, you go straight up.
yeah.
And you're lining up your shot, putting the hand in the cookie basket. He would defender would put their hands up. He would come at it from the side and throw his arms into their arms, but then straighten his arm up so it looked like he was doing a shot. So it's just the way he created contact in a lot of unique ways, and he got a ton of calls for it. And I mean, Vlade Divac, did I get that right?
Yeah, Divac.
Yeah, that guy.
Whatever.
But I remember
Yeah.
as a Jazz fan all the time as a kid being frustrated, like, why does he keep getting that call? Like, he's clearly and they would even show it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look what he's
look,
doing.
yeah.
Like, he's getting these
He's
calls.
intentionally doing this, yeah.
And I think he would do it a little bit differently depending on where the ref was standing.
Sure, yeah.
Because the angle would be different.
Yeah.
And, but I don't know, it's just
Savvy.
another
That's
element to
savvy.
your craft, right?
Yeah,
Kevin,
100%.
talk about that, drawing fouls in basketball.
Yeah, Harden's
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy now.
Yeah.
Just
Lives
Yeah,
on the free throw
literally,
line.
bro.
frustrating. Guy will put his hand in there and he'll just come up underneath. and like
Yep.
trap your arm, and then
Yep.
he'll throw it up and gets foul
It's the
call.
call, right?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
But you're telling me there wasn't one time where he looked like an idiot doing that?
Oh,
and he
for
didn't
sure.
Get a call for
there's
that?
We've got
Oh, I know.
YouTube compilations
Like,
of him.
Trust me, I know. I seen him.
Yeah,
Right? And it's
yeah.
just like, man, you never know unless you try it, man.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, what about us getting can we get like some ninja into the locker room to like teach us how to get more holding calls?
right?
Cuz like
Oh my
because you almost
gosh.
it's terrible because you have to kind of give up your pursuit, which you
Yes.
don't want to do. You want to continue to pursue because you never know. He could scramble right into you.
Right. Yeah.
A play could break. Coverage could be great. Like you could still get that sack.
Yes.
But it's almost like you have to abandon that and like throw your arms up and make it obvious that you're being held in order to get those calls. So I get why there's an advantage to not doing it.
yes.
But we get held a lot on the edge and we don't get the flags. Like
Mm-hmm.
what give me your thoughts on that? Is it about giving up on the play versus like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You know, it's tough because there's a time and place for that,
Yeah.
right? And there's scenarios where you can. Case point, SMU.
Mhm.
I had a really good rush. I've been setting this rush up all day, right?
I remember
And I
this.
think it's like third quarter, some they're backed up. And I know it's like third and long at this point or something like that. And I did a power to speed. And so what it did essentially, I was taking my initial angle towards his center, his center line, right? His chest. And then as soon as I got close enough where his feet stopped and he went to settle for the bull rush, boom, I came back out to an edge, to a speed rush, right? And as I did that, he completely just
Hugged you.
hugged me, right?
I remember this play.
And the quarterback is like literally right where you are at this point. And I'm like, okay, I could either try to run through this hold and possibly get pressure on him. He'll probably get the ball out, but
Right.
you know, you never know. Maybe he holds it. Maybe the corner is still locked down and I might get the sack, right? But it's unlikely, right? Or I can really try to shed off aggressively, but still sell it a little bit, just a little bit more than what I would if I was trying to get the sack.
Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to get a sack, I'm shedding and I'm trying to run through the arms. I'm trying to run through as much as I can, but you know what I'm saying? However, this time I'm like, it also did help because the quarterback was kind of scrambling out towards the boundary. So, you know, I could have ripped up and like ran to him, but instead I tried to spin out. But since where his hands were on me, you know, I can spin out, but it still puts him in a position where it's blatant holding. Like it's out there in front of the ref. Now he can see it.
Yeah.
It's not like a rip where, you know, he has me because the same thing happened in UCF.
Mm-hmm.
It was holding, you know what I'm saying? Like I got tackled, right? But instead of doing the spin out of it and like trying to sell it a little more, I decided to rip up and just run through it,
Try to make a play.
right?
Yeah.
I still had pressure on quarterback, but I didn't get a sack. In fact, I ended up getting tackled because of it. There's other ways to go about it, but that's the way that I did it,
Yeah.
right? And in my head, there's a time and place to do that, right? And so that's there where I got the holding call in the SMU game, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't typically do that anymore. Like I don't really try to sell the holding calls because, truthfully, man, there's nothing you can do about it. You
Right.
might get lucky, get one holding call game.
Right.
Every pass rush that I have, I'm getting held.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Every single one. As a matter of fact, you know, you might get a couple clean rushes throughout the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Never mind a game. Throughout the season, you'll get a few clean rushes. You know, you'll have a great step on a guy and you'll just beat his hands and boom, you're there. But typically, man, especially the way that our defense, how we pass rush within our defensive scheme, it just doesn't happen,
Right.
right? And so, you know, I really just try to fight through it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and if you get called for it, cool. But like, man,
I've noticed you and Batty a lot, like
you don't get
specifically
called
you
for
two,
it.
because you guys, I feel like you two get hold more than anybody I've seen.
Yes.
And your MO has
Bad.
been
Y'all should have
bad.
seen the game last weekend, bro.
Oh,
we watched
dude,
the
no.
film today.
I've
I
yeah.
was like, oh my gosh.
Hey, our boy, our guy, our companion in Chubby's greatness, Spencer Fano.
Oh my gosh.
Who is a good, I'm not trying to downplay him. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
That being said,
Yeah.
go ahead, Zay.
I mean, look, it doesn't matter. All right, I would say it doesn't matter if he held us or not. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're coached to do.
Yeah.
These offensive tackles are coached to hold and get away with it.
And just so
You know what
you,
I'm saying? Even our own offensive line.
for sure.
I mean, I deal with it the whole fall camp, the whole spring. You know what I'm saying?
And let's talk about there's like, you know, like Ghostbusters when he gets mad that the lady like picks up his dirty clothes. He's like, listen, laundry's not clean or dirty. There are many subtle levels of clean laundry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holding is not holding or not holding it.
Yes.
There's very many subtle levels. If I'm nose to nose with you and my hands are inside and I'm on your frame, inside frame, and I grab the crap out of your jersey or pads, in my mind, that's not holding at all.
No, you're locking me up.
You're locking him up. It's not holding at all. Once you are outside of my frame,
Yes.
and we're not nose to nose, and you are getting past me, like I'm no longer square to you or to the line of scrimmage, and I'm holding on to you,
That is holding.
that is holding. And I have to either let go or hope the ref isn't looking my direction. Like I got to make that choice.
Yes.
And that's the kind of, when I say holding, because everyone's like, well, they're hold every play. I'm like, listen, a hold is not a hold is a hold.
Exactly. There's different levels, right? Or like if I'm spinning out of a block and, you know, I'm getting held by my horse collar, by my neck basically, and I'm running the opposite direction,
That is a hold.
that's holding,
Every time.
right? Might not get called. In fact, it doesn't get called. But hey, that is holding. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I played
It's just the life we live
interior.
in,
I played
man.
interior O line, so I didn't have to deal with the fast guys shooting nines on me.
Yeah.
Right? I had friends on my right side. I have friends on my left
Up
side.
close and personal,
Up
man.
close
You know
and
what I'm
personal.
saying?
I held the crap out of people,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and I got called for it all the time. I don't get what's.
Hey, that's just unfortunate, my brother. Hey, because dudes are getting away with that all the time. Shoot, I remember in high school when I played tight end, like, I mean, I didn't really hold, honestly, that much. But when I did, shoot, hey, and I didn't get called for it, I'm good, man. Big old touchdown just,
There must be
just happened,
a sexy way to hold people and get away with it.
There
I
has
just
to
don't
be,
have
right?
that genetic in me. Like it's just not there.
you know? But hey, it's just the life we live in, my brother. You know, you get held, man. That's football, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. Yeah. But, nah, that's that holding thing, dude. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
But you have to play through it.
Yeah.
You have to, bro. And that's where, you know, the violence of the game comes into play, especially in my position,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, DBs, like, yeah, you might get held by, like, a receiver, but truthfully, you know, the refs are, like, right there. They typically do a good job.
And the ball's
know?
headed your way, so everyone's attention goes right to you.
Literally, right? But nobody's really sitting there watching the D-line, like,
Bro.
holding. Yep. I mean, yeah, you might have the ref in the back, right? But, like, truthfully,
Yeah.
even
Well, he's got five
he's
guys
watching,
to watch.
yeah, all different,
and-
all 10 guys. He's watching
yeah,
10 guys, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so yeah, dude. At this point, I was just kind of like, man, I'm getting held.
Batty went. So we got a
It is what it
pick,
is.
Mark's pick
Oh yeah,
on the sideline. Did you see Batty go to
Oh,
the
yeah.
ref, or was it Mangleson? It was Batty.
It was
Batty.
He had
Dude,
a
were you on
nasty
the
cross shot.
Were you on the field on that?
No, I wasn't. But I was
didn't-
watching the whole thing happen. I was like, because he hit Batty hit a nasty cross chop on their right tackle, and like he was out of the frame, and like he was getting to his, you know, he's speed up. He's getting to his acceleration phase of his pass rush. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a sack. And I was like, why is it taking him so long? He's right there. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously the quarterback throws the ball, and then he got there, but he didn't get the sack, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember watching it on the film. I was like, man, he's getting the crap held out of him.
Yes, he was.
Like bad.
And he would
Like
and,
hold like this, bro. Like
and Mangleson was trying to
Across the
pull
body.
him off of, or maybe it was John. Somebody was trying to get him away from the ref because Batty was not holding back.
I
He
think it
had
was John,
enough of that.
but I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, if I can't say this or not. But I'm gonna say it anyways because it's my podcast. I don't give a damn. Man, we will have refs that we consistently have
Yeah.
reffing our games, right? Say when we go to him, I'm like, bro, it was right in front of you. You see it. Like as I'm getting held, I'm making eye contact with you. We're looking at each other.
We're
man.
locking eyes.
As I'm getting tackled to the ground, And I get up, I'm like, man, you seen that? Like, what? He's like, yeah, man. Honestly, I just saw it late. I don't know what to tell you.
Throw it late.
I'm like, hey,
It's just as
hey, you
good
can
late.
still throw it, my boy. Hey,
Yeah.
my brother, you can still throw it, dog. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like, yeah, man, I seen that. I just, nothing I can do about it now. I'm like, come on, dog.
But you know what?
Come
Like,
on,
listen,
bruh,
like,
you
dude,
can't.
because I've talked with my fair share of refs on the sidelines.
No doubt.
About holding
No doubt.
or PIs always press man grabbing,
Yes.
and like
Yes.
when they're like, I didn't see it at all, it makes me more mad. So I get what they're saying, like, I didn't see that. I'm like, you didn't see that. I saw
We're
you, right?
looking at you.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
looking at each other, man.
So at least they like kind of
Like,
like
what?
acknowledge that. But then
Right.
I'm always like, could you look for it a little better going forward?
Right.
And they're like, I'll try. Like, I'll try. Unless I'm heated and they'll be like, get back on the side,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. It
See,
seems
that's
like
the
it.
thing, bro. I'm like, can we at least look for it in the future? Like, yeah, for sure. Not a damn thing, man. You know? And like the thing is, that's why I'm like, man, I rarely talk to the refs.
Right.
I never really go my way, talk shit, complain truly. Sometimes I probably complained to the refs twice this year.
Okay.
Based on blatant things where literally I'm looking at him in the eyes as I'm getting tackled by the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, come on, man. You seen that,
Yeah.
right? And then another time, Baylor, where I should have had a sack, and they held me too. But other than those two times, bro, I just try to stay away from that because I'm like, man,
Right.
first of all, it's not helping me. And second of all, if he wanted to call it, he would have called it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Multiple times have I gone on my way, be like, hey, man, I need you to look at this. I need you to see this because it's messing with my game. It's messing with the outcome of this game. You know that, right? Like on a different level.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're gonna see it, and then nothing. So at this point, man, I was like, you know what? I'm a defensive end. This is a part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I get there, I get there. Hell yeah. If I don't, because I'm getting held, I'm just SOL, my brother. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's just the fact of the matter is it's not gonna work for me. That move, man. I gotta be better, you know? More violent with my hands, more, I'd be more savvy with my moves, how I'm setting it up. You know?
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. You have to
control what you can
You
control.
literally have to elevate your game.
Yeah.
You have to. And you can see it as a challenge and not complain about it, and try to overcome it. Or you can sit here, let it affect you, talk about it, talk shit to the refs, get yourself in trouble when they're for sure not going to call nothing on it for you now because you just sat here and cussed this ref out. You know what I'm saying? I've been on both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be on this side. It's positive for me and for them.
I was nervous, dude. I was like, Batty, stop.
I know,
Batty,
right?
stop.
There's a couple, yeah. Hey, Batty is just,
He's all
he loves
in.
the game. He's all
Yeah,
in
he's all in.
emotionally and everything. He plays with passion, bro. That's why he's so good.
Yeah.
So, he's going to get fired up.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? When, something is obviously happening that's not, right,
Yeah.
he's going to say something.
Yeah.
And that's just how he is, man. I don't, hate on him for it at all.
Oh,
like,
I'm not
hey,
hating on him either.
I'm there standing up for him too, man. I'm like, bro, what the heck? You just seen that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
But,
in the
like, for
stands
myself,
talking about someone has no control over any outcome. I'm in the stands like, please don't get a flag.
Right?
Please don't get a flag.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm still thinking about that flopping.
Oh yeah.
That flopping thing, bro. Look, I've only done that once in my life.
Yeah,
It just so happens somebody got that on camera. It just so happens. I've never flopped in my life like that. You know
You
what
gotta
I'm
give it a
saying?
shot.
You have to, man. Look,
Give it a shot.
look. I've never done it before. I'm like, you know what, man? Today's the day. We're losing to Oklahoma State. There's not much I can do because defense is about to be off field. It's the end of the game almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Offense is about coming. I'm thinking, what can I do for the team? I'm like, this is my moment. And I know because I was just kind of talking smack to this offensive lineman. I'm like, I'm standing here. I'm seeing him walking off the field, but I know he's going to try to hit me in the shoulder. He's going to try and give me one of those.
Yeah, check you.
So I'm like, all right, this is my moment. This is my chance. And next thing you know, he didn't really try to check me. He was just walking. He was just walking in my direction.
Yeah,
granted,
yeah.
right? But yeah, dude, I tried to sell it and I just did too much, I think.
Batty's was a little bit more believable.
Yeah.
Did you see like the fans got pretty upset when they showed
Yeah.
baddies, and I was like, he just flopped.
I know. And it's cool because like you kind of see me in there. I'm like,
Hey, come on, what?
the heck is
You
that?"
can't let him get away with this. What are you
You know what I'm
doing?
saying? Hey, look, I'm always gonna take my teammates back. I always got my teammates back, no matter whether it's right or wrong, man. I'm in it with them. You know what I'm saying? But I seen exactly what happened. I knew because as soon as Batty was standing there and the offensive lineman was running to him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna do it. I know he's gonna do it. I mean, dude, I feel like I know this guy so well. I'm just like, I see what he's gonna do before he does it, man. And I was like, yep, he did it. And then I see the ref hug, and then the guy, like the Kansas guys, get up in there. I'm like, hey, man, you see him?
That's
Still
all.
pushing him after the play, man. Man.
So,
But I'm like sitting here, I'm like, come on. Come
so
on,
you know
man.
Ryan, my brother.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yes. And myself, two biggest like floppers in high school basketball, probably Salem Hills history. My brother was so good at taking charges, he would get inside the guy and then he would grab the guy's jersey and pull down
Ooh,
like
savvy.
dirty, savvy,
Nice.
like, and it was always like he's 5'10", like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
$150. But
Yeah, yeah.
every single time, like if there was a big on him, it was like, and he would get up, he would look at me, and he would wink at me after he like pulled the guy down in the stands. Like,
Sick.
you are preaching to
Oh,
the
yeah.
flopping choir, and I was terrible in high school too. Like, anytime I got hit in the face, I'm on the ground like acting
Yeah.
like I'm dead. So this, keep
That's-
flopping. I respect it. Don't let the haters get you down, man.
That's so funny.
You miss
man.
all the shots you don't take, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Hey, you know, you
Hey,
gotta-
and in hoops now, they will call you on it. You get one warning, right? And then
Yeah.
it's what is it? It's a personal foul. It's
Technical.
a technical foul
oh, jeez.
in hoops. But hey, until they install this in football, bro,
Hey, keep chipping away, huh? Keep chipping away at it. He's gonna have anything. Nah, dude. After I
You're
guarantee
cured?
all the refs. I guarantee the Big 12
they're all over it now.
has seen this video. They're like, do not call a single one for these two demons out there, man. Number 1392, do not call a dang thing for them. Either they get held, after the play, none of that.
Unless there's blood running down their face, don't you?
Don't you dare throw that flag. Sucks, man. Ruined the fun for everybody, huh?
Now you just gotta train up John. You gotta train up Mickelson.
You know what I'm saying? All right, man, this is how you do it. This is when you do it. They'll be like, I'm good. They'll be like, yeah, I'm good. You guys keep that in the DN room. Oh, my gosh.
Go.
Hey, man. It just shows that you care.
That's right.
You're trying, man. You're trying. But yeah, man. That's pretty much all I have for this episode. I don't know. You guys have any additional
No, man.
comments?
It was a good one.
This was a good one, man. It's a great one.
I like this one.
I had fun. I hope you guys had a good time listening. And shoot, I know I did.
Hey, one thing. If you're a Coup Connect subscriber, you're watching this on Coup Connect's YouTube channel, get over, search up the Realist podcast, and be sure to subscribe there because we're going to be live streaming on that channel going forward.
Yes.
So we'll still put up a post-production thing on Coup Connect just to get the viewers out there. But the main channel for this podcast is going to be the Realist. Just want to get it out there.
Appreciate
Next
that,
week.
Jake. Yep. Next week, yes, the live feed will air on the actual Realist podcast YouTube channel. So, and we'll get that link out for sure and stuff like that. But anyways, with that being said, we'll keep this episode to a close, man. We I appreciate you guys.
Of course.
Kevin, Jake, man, being here. Once again, shout out Chubby's and Orem. Man, go get you a Bangin' Bagnah burger. I'm telling you, it does not disappoint. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all next week. Let's take it to Arizona State. Go Cougs.